Welcome to the Car Guys, and boy do we have a special car for you this week.
You have been asking for this car for almost 2.5 years now, and finally we've got it out, we've got together, and we're going to give you the full story about this car, the Talbot Sunbeam Lotus, everything you need to know about it, and we're going to stare the crap out of Damian.
The beans, the history, what makes this car so special, why this is such an animal, why Jason loves it, all of that coming to you in this week's episode.
Cue the music.
So Jason, you brought finally the Talbot Sunbeam Lotus down for us to drive today, thanks to the viewers who have been pestering us incessantly to make sure that we get it on the channel. And this week, we're going to deliver.
We are going to deliver. Now, interestingly, I looked back at our old original video that we did on this, because I thought we'd already done this. Everyone's going, where's the Talbot video? And I'm like, but we've already done one. And then I looked back and realised, actually, we hadn't done anything even close to doing a video on this.
We just drove it a bit.
We drove it a bit, and then I picked it up and drove it a bit,
Yep.
and then that was it. Nothing else happened. Well, COVID, that happened.
Yeah, apart from that.
Which kind of stopped it all. So,
little problem.
anyway, I've brought it out today. I really want you to understand everything there is to know about this car, because on the surface, it looks like a tricked out Talbot Sunbeam. I'm sure some of you think it's not a real Lotus. I'm sure some of you like, what's all the stickers about? And I want to kind of really get a feel for why this car exists, what it's all about, and show you how it drives, because frankly, it's frightening.
I mean, this is probably the definition of the underappreciated hidden gem. Because
100%.
no one would think that these really are cars to absolutely drive. They're not one that's on the radar. They're not one that gets a lot of publicity. When we first put it on the channel, people are like, what the hell is that? If we're going to achieve anything today, it is to try and convey to you how special it is and what a lucky little boy this gentleman is.
And hopefully the cars will therefore appreciate in value, and I will become rich. Richer than God, you know.
Beyond the dreams of avarice.
And rumour has it that once upon a time, Princess Diana looked at this car. So obviously, if you want to buy it, it's up for 6 million quid. Thanks.
So perhaps one of the first things we should do is, Jason, you should tell the ladies and gentlemen how you came to own this magnificent car.
So let's take you back a little while, just before COVID. And we were asked by Bonhams, who were launching a brand new auction for
Modern classics.
Modern classics. Could you come down, boys? Could you review a few of the cars, do a promotional video for us, stick it on the channel, help us kick off this thing? Because obviously we literally bit their arm off. We were there like a shot. We're standing next to, I believe, it was a Sierra Cosworth, and I glanced over my shoulder to see this thing being unloaded off a low loader with all of the livery, and I went, bloody hell, it's only a real rally car. Which obviously it's not a real rally car. We then got to drive it, because this wasn't on the list of things we wanted to drive.
Nope.
We just went over and went, yeah, can we have the keys?
Because no one's heard of these, really.
No one. Not at that point. They were a thing, but not, you know, we didn't know they were a proper thing. The auction was cancelled due to COVID, so no one could go. So it was online bids only. We chucked in a cheeky bid. They accepted the offer.
COVID impulse auction purchase.
Yeah. 2 weeks later,
It was on your drive.
it was on my drive.
So you've had it over 2 years
Over
now.
2 years now.
And what's the ownership experience been like?
I've had to change the gearbox oil twice, so that stopped me driving it for about 6 months. It's just one of those things, right? Yeah. It's a very old car. It starts first time every time. It's got a battery cut-off. It's actually been fantastic. If I want to drive it, I can get in it and I can go.
So what we should do now is do a full walk around the car, take you through all the interesting aspects of it, and then we'll also look at the car's history, rallying, and some of the very special features of this car particularly. Sound good?
Sounds good. This car was pulled out of a container, not looking like this. It had done barely any miles. The guy that pulled it out knew about these cars, knew what to do with them. He decided that he wanted to make a rally replica. And to do that, he needed to find lots of original parts. One of the things I really, really like is back here, there's a sticker that says, this new Talbot is road ready. Road ready. So the wheel arches, these are aluminium. Obviously not on the original car, wasn't like this. So the rally cars had aluminium arches, aluminium front splitter. We've got mini lights or some type of mini light wheel on the front. So we're running 205 50-15s on these. So they're quite big wheels for a car of this size. They wouldn't normally be that big. Inside, we've got the amazing original deep dish steering wheel that has been sourced from God knows where. We have 2 original rally seats. So in these rally cars, the driver's seat was a bucket and the passenger seat was more of a Recaro type seat. So you could lay it back and have a little snooze. They're original rally seats, and I don't even believe they've been reupholstered. I think this is the original upholstery on them. All of the glass on this car, apart from the windscreen, isn't actually glass. To save weight, it's all Lexicon plastic, as you can see, fairly wobbly. And it has no weight to it, which means that if you're driving along and you've forgotten to push down each of these corners, it tends to pick up like a little spoiler at the back. So you'll notice that the wheel isn't in the normal wheel well where you would expect to find it, because obviously this is a much bigger wheel and tyre combination because it's a rally car. So all of the rally cars had them secured back there behind the cage using that ratchet strap, which is the reason why it sits there like that, to make it more authentic.
Now, Jason, correct me if I'm wrong, but the original cars, when they came out of the factory, so they were built, the bodies were built in Scotland, and they were then sent down to Lotus. Lotus put all the bits on, and then there was a final sort of quality check somewhere else.
Lotus quality check.
See what I did there? But the original engine that was in there at that time was a 2.2 litre, 4-cylinder, 16-valve engine.
Double overhead cam, roughly 150-ish horsepower. So exciting for 1981, 82, yeah.
Yeah, so that was the original engine, but I'm told this one may not be quite stock.
In order to try and get closer to the competition cars, the gentleman that owned this had the engine taken out to 2.4 litres, and it's been tickled by the guy that used to do the race car engines. It's now around about 240 horsepower.
240. So this is basically now like a works rally engine.
This is a rally, yeah, it's a proper racing car engine. It's only slightly detuned, as in by 10 horsepower, because obviously reliability purposes. The guy that does the engines, he won't take the car. So if I get a problem with this engine, and I have a bill, stamped bill for this from, I can't remember the year, but let's say quite some years ago, for £8,500 just to put that 100 horsepower in it.
Just to fettle it?
Just to fettle it.
Okay.
And because he won't take the entire car, because he doesn't work with cars, he only works with engines, you have to take the engine out, put it on a crate.
Lovely.
Send it to him, he will then fettle it, and he will send it back, and you must install it back in your own vehicle.
Proper old school car restoration.
Oh yeah, proper.
So Jason, they made just over 2,300 of these originally. They were going to be making 4,500, but unfortunately 1979, when this was announced at Geneva Motor Show, sort of kind of coincided with oil crises and things.
Oh yeah.
So because it was a big powerful car, they sort of didn't sell anywhere near as many as they thought, but still 2,300 of them. 0 to 60, any idea? This is the standard car.
A standard car?
Not your enlarged car. This one, it came out of the factory. What do you reckon?
8.
7.
Oh.
Because it's so light, presumably.
Yeah.
7 seconds 0 to 60.
That's pretty rapid.
Top speed?
145.
120.
Oh.
So not quite so good.
Short ratios, right, to get that 0 to 60 speed. That's definitely what it is, he said, sounding like he knows what he's talking about. Okay, so as we said before, these seats are different, and they're supposed to be different. They're different for a reason. Lovely Talbot badges onto the backrest of the seat, which is wonderful. Gearbox, dog leg gearbox. They were like that originally in the original cars. This gearbox has been fettled along with a different clutch pack in order to take the horsepower. These dials are obviously new. There to give us a little bit more information about the car. Deep dish steering wheel, Talbot sign in the middle, absolutely amazing. rev counter which goes the other way to normal rev counters, which I think is actually one of the most special things about this car, weirdly. Everything else is normal, and the headlining has the signatures of the people that helped build the car, and there's also one very important signature, and that is on here, and that says Russell Brooks. And if you know anything about rallying, British rallying, you'll know that Russell Brooks was an absolute legend. We're going to show you a bit of footage now so you can learn more about him.
Brooks came to prominence driving the Ford Escort RS 1800, Talbot Sunbeam Lotus, Opel Manta 400, Ford Sierra RS Cosworth and Sapphire Cosworth. In fact, Ari Vatanen was a teammate at one stage. He won the British Rally Championship in 1977 and 1985 and was also successful in a wide number of individual rallies in the 70s and 80s, including Tour of Corsica, the RAC Rally and Circuit of Ireland. And pretty much everything he drove sported the iconic yellow Andrews Heat for Hire sponsorship livery that he kept from 1974 right up to 1991. Sadly, Brooks died in 2019, aged 74, after a bicycle accident. A great loss to the historic rallying scene.
So there you go. Now you know what a legend that guy was. So he has signed this car. Up here on this side is Phil Davison. He's the guy that did the engine, another legend, and it's signed by various other people. So the car has been set up as a tarmac in the same way that a tarmac race car would be set up by the guy that used to help set up the original race cars. And if that's not special, I don't know what is.
Here we are then.
Right, so this is the Talbot.
Yes, it is.
Are you excited?
I'm really excited because it feels like I'm in Mad Max's car.
It does tend to have that feel about it.
Deep dish, roll cage, rough, bits of gaffer tape everywhere, knobs, strange things going on. Don't know what it is. It's all black. Is there a starting procedure for this car?
Starting procedure. So obviously we've got key.
Good.
So this is the electric cut-off key, which needs to be turned on before you do it, and then a normal key.
Excellent.
There's a big sign on the dashboard which says "Do not depress
the
clutch when starting."
Which you would naturally do these days.
Which these days you would absolutely do. But the reason for not doing that is because if you depress the clutch when you start, you kill the input bearing, and then you have to have the engine out and the gearbox out to change the.
And that's a bad thing.
And that's a bad thing.
It also says, do not fuel the bonnet shut.
Push the bonnet.
Oh,
push
do
the
not
bonnet.
push the bonnet shut.
Yeah, so you have to drop the bonnet from a height, because if you push it, it's so thin
that
you would leave your hand marks.
I mean, there's a lot of do nots going on
There's
in
a
this
lot.
car,
There's a
isn't
lot of do nots.
there? So presumably do drive very fast and in a reckless fashion.
So turn the key.
Yep,
Now, I don't know if you can hear this,
I can.
but there is a fuel pump, and you have to wait until that's done its thing. Now, if the engine's cold, you absolutely need choke. You can't start the thing without choke, it refuses.
Because this is a carburetted vehicle.
Because this is a very large carburetted vehicle. So we have fuel pressure.
Yeah. That's an angry noise, isn't it?
Yeah. So you can hear the intake noise from the carbs, which is actually still silenced by an enormous airbox that's on it already. So if this was just normal trumpets on the side of this thing, we'd be sucking in literally small birds.
Could we, is it an option to cut a hole in the bonnet and then have the carbs
Stacks.
pointing out of the top?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Good. Just wanted to check that was an option.
So 4-point harnesses.
Oh God, I hate these.
COVID has not been kind to one's waist. There's the other one.
Yes.
Now you're in.
Do you know the last time I put harnesses on like this?
What was that?
F40. Sorry.
This is, I'm ignoring it. In many ways, this is very similar to that car.
Is it
it's
indeed?
not as fast, but it still has that rawness that you.
It's rough as a badger's arse. You are clear to taxi out onto runway 240. Now, presumably this is the point where you always stall.
Yeah, you have to
Give it the beans. First thing we would say is it's quite loud in here. Quite loud.
It's quite loud in here.
Yeah.
Yeah. it's quite bumpy, and we're only actually doing 30 miles an hour. Well, an indicated 30.
It's very jiggly and bouncy, it's very loud, and you've got quite the deepest dish steering wheel I think I've ever seen.
Now, the normal road cars surely didn't have this deeper dish steering wheel on them.
It does feel very small, and I don't know if you've noticed this, ladies and gentlemen, but every single window in the car, with the exception of the windscreen, is plastic. It's all plastic.
All plastic. It would be interesting to put this car onto a weighbridge or measure its weights or something like that, because I don't think we're running much more than 800 or 900 kilos in this configuration.
Yeah, it feels pretty light. Tell me about, you've got what looks like a bottle of oil here. Is that to top up the engine?
Oh yeah, so if you look, it says Miller's something or other Super Spark or...
Yeah.
Well...
What's that then?
That's octane booster. 99 octane ain't enough.
It's not enough. You need greater than 99.
It's like going up to the bar and going, I'd like a pint of Kronenberg, please, and why don't you stick a Jägermeister in it? We have quite a lot of camber on the front wheels.
Oh, really?
To remove, understeer, because we're not keen on understeer.
So they're like this, then?
They're very much like that, yeah.
Wow.
Which is another reason why it kind of darts around and wants to try and find every pothole and ditch going.
There's a little knob here for an half an hour.
Oh yeah, don't touch it.
What is that? It's down here by the handbrake. What is that? Because I'm just about to twiddle
don't.
With careless abandon.
So when I bought the car, I looked down there as you are looking now and thought, that's interesting, that says Willwood on it. What do Willwood do? They do brakes. That's the brake bias knob.
Is it?
So you can change the brake bias between front and rear, like all good rally cars.
So what do you think, like clockwise more to the front?
No, we don't touch it.
Clockwise to the rear?
The guy that owned it...
At the moment, I'm just twiddling it all the way clockwise.
The guy that owned it said, don't touch it. Just look over your shoulder a minute. What's happened to the rear window?
Oh. We forgot to secure it properly. We forgot to put it down, ladies and gentlemen, properly and latch it in, and therefore it has now become a wing.
Spoiler. The smell currently coming out of it?
I mean, there is quite a strong smell of petrol all the time.
No, it's the exhaust smell. The reason why you can smell that is because the rear window's open.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Really open now, look.
It's really open. Do we need to stop and?
Yeah, I'm going to be stopping
because it might fly off.
Yeah, and I don't want to die from carbon monoxide poisoning.
Yeah, good point.
Perfect.
The rear hatch has now been secured,
Excellent.
Captain.
The other thing to remember: dog leg gearbox.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, same as the Ferrari.
So we've got some gauges here. I don't know what that. I literally can't read that or that.
So this gauge here next to the cut-off switch.
Yeah.
Is oil pressure.
Okay.
And this gauge here is water temperature.
Got it.
Oil temperature is up here.
Okay.
But it needs something doing to it, because when you stop, the oil temperature goes up to the red, but as soon as you start to move or rev the engine, it goes back down again. Okay. So there's something going on with that. And then the beautiful carriage clock from your mum's Teesmate.
Yes. Do you know what I've just realised?
Go on.
We haven't done any beans yet.
Oh.
We need to do some beans in the Talbot Sunbeam Lotus.
Right, second gear.
Second gear? Here we go then.
Okay, you ready? 2,000 RPM.
Ready.
Maximum beanage, yeah?
Yep, full on.
So it's got a bit of character. Are you okay? Hello? Hello? Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
that okay? Is that...
Flipping heck.
Flipping heck.
What was that?
That's 250 brake horsepower in a car that weighs less than a tonne. That's got full race suspension on it. That has been set up, I might add, by the same guy that set up the 1980s rally cars.
Oh my God.
So,
I mean, I literally cannot believe
what happened.
What happened then. That is just insane. I thought I was fully prepared.
I know.
And I was like, okay, yeah, this is going to be a bit of a push, not too bad.
Yep.
But that was like unleashing the gods of Valhalla.
And that's what makes this car exciting.
My seat moved backwards.
Yeah, it does do that.
I mean, God, that is spectacular, isn't it? God.
So now you know why I don't really drive the Yaris a lot.
Yeah. That was very, very good. The only thing that slightly worried me as we took those corners was when you told me a little bit earlier, these tyres are a bit bald, I'm not sure if they're going to make it.
They're not bald, they're just old and very hard. Yeah, they're the same thing.
But we just went along roads really fast and you were like cornering like R.E. Vatanen.
Yeah, so interestingly, because this car's been set up by someone who knows how to set up rally cars, this is tarmac spec, this car doesn't have a rear anti-roll bar.
Okay.
So I questioned that and said, why has it not got a rear anti-roll bar? I was told because it doesn't need one. I mean, it's properly good. It's not just...
I'm not like, you know...
Not doing it for the film.
I'm not doing it for the film. That was very, very good.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of this motion.
Yeah.
Wow.
Come then.
Flipping heck. Let's give this a go then. Right, okay, so to try and best describe it to you viewers, steering initially super heavy. As soon as you get going, it lightens up. The deep dish steering wheel is the greatest thing in the world. Like, I want this fitted on all my cars now.
Of course.
The throttle is like a hair trigger. It's so light, but I can feel how much power there is there. It's just like fizzing, constantly going, go on, push it, go on, push it, you pussy, go on, push it. Like you say, lots of visibility, nice boxy shape. The front doesn't look very far away at all.
No. And neither's the windscreen.
Oh, no. Now, this car did quite well in rallying, didn't it?
Yeah, won the RAC rally in 1981.
So that's pretty much straight out the back, because it was launched in 79.
Yep.
And so brakes, pretty good. They're pretty good.
If I think if there's an area that could be improved, it would probably be just the pedal feel.
Oh, come on. What a lovely, sweet change that gear is. Look at that. And it changes direction really well, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's the camber on the front wheels for you.
So, be honest then, how often do you drive this?
Not very often at all.
Really?
Yeah, the problem is you're experiencing it in possibly the greatest place you can. Completely clear bit of road, national speed limit. I don't get a lot of that around Essex.
Right.
And as you can see, kind of pottering through traffic at 20 miles an hour, it's very nice and tractable, but it's not its happiest.
Oh my God.
It's special, isn't it?
Oh, what a thing.
The engine's amazing, it's so tractable. You've got such a good pedal feel on the throttle.
Yeah.
You feel everything, can't you?
Exactly. Well, I'll tell you what, that camber doesn't have snatched the wheel.
Doesn't it though?
Bloody hell. Oh.
So much torque from that engine as well. It's a bit bigger CCs.
Easy left, down to medium right, over crest.
Don't cut.
Come on. Oh. such a lovely, sweet little thing that you would never expect.
Nope.
You'd look at this and you think, yeah, that's like a fragile little museum piece. If you took that out now, it would like just explode straight away, but it's not. It's gutsy and it's bomb-proof, and it's just loving this sort of treatment.
Yeah.
But I dare say probably on a long journey, quite tiring.
Yeah, it's very loud.
Yeah.
Very loud in here on a long journey, and monotonous. You know, 70 miles an hour is 4,000 RPM. I believe there's some beanage about to happen.
I'm just gonna see if I can try to capture for you what you just did for me.
Sure.
So let's see what happens. Oh my goodness. I mean, that shouldn't be legal, should it really? No. Thank you for watching this episode on the Talbot Sunbeam Lotus at last.
I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed Damian's face when we gave it the beans. This car is incredibly special. Don't forget to subscribe to see more stuff like this on the channel. Ding the notification bell, like the video, find us on Facebook and Twitter and wherever else we are. Don't forget to buy that merch.
There'll be another episode next week.